It said doctors are to black women what police officers are to black men.
All right, I was getting ready for bed, but I figured I'd stop and do this one. Now I'm going to give you a combination of statistics and colloquialisms for evidence. Some of these 4 words that we know apply to black men when it comes to the police, and then I'm going to show you how that applies to black women in healthcare. That's profiled, ignored, abused, and discarded. The first one's profile, and immediately I thought of this research study that took place in 2016. It was exploring racial bias in pain assessment and treatment, and it had like 2 different study groups. One was of everyday people, and then the other was of med students. In the assessments, they asked different questions about black people and white people as it related to like pain tolerance, basically. And it come to find out that majority of the white people actually believe these false narratives. They turned around and asked med students, and they actually believe the same thing as everyday people because, of course, why not? They are everyday people. Not all of them, just like 50%. They went on to admit that when the black person had lower pain, they went on to give them less of an accurate treatment. The next one is ignored. Now for this one, I'm going to go to an article in the Berkeley News by Yasmin Anwar. The article is titled, Why Middle-Class Black Women Dread Going to the Doctor's Office. And in it, she interviewed a lady named Tina Sack. She has a book that covers this topic. But one thing that she said in that interview that stuck out to me was about a lady who had gone to a doctor plenty of times and said that she was having pain in her legs. And they just kept chalking up to her being overweight. So they didn't do anything beyond an x-ray, and they kept blaming everything on her weight. Come to find out, she fast forward and finds somebody that actually listens to her. They get an MRI and find out that this black lady actually has 2 tumors on her knees. That's the problem. The next one is going to be abused. Now for this one, I actually watched a video last week, I want to say, here on TikTok of a woman that had went to the hospital for like some reason beforehand, but she had been in there for a while. And she was like, I feel like they're holding me here for some odd reason. Now, we found out she has a rare blood type. And apparently they just kept taking vows for her. She said every day they would take vows. Until one day she was like, I'm just going to say no today. She said no. And then they were discharging her. She also mentioned other things about how like rough they were with her until she said something and spoke up for herself or whatever. Like they had no care for her. The last one's going to be discarded, and this is crazy. I know the numbers for black women and maternal mortality rate were high, but not this high. NPR covered Shalon Irving's death in an article called Black Women Keep Dying After Giving Birth, and that they cite the CDC and say that this is one of the widest disparities in women's health. Now, for context, they tell you that a black woman is 22% more likely to die from a heart disease than a white woman. But they tell you that a black woman is 243% more likely to die from pregnancy or childbirth-related causes. All these things are happening because as black women, we are profiled, ignored, abused, and discarded in the healthcare system. I might do more research on my YouTube.